Hey, everybody asked a question. It's something which is very common, and that is you're invited to a wedding, you say you're coming, it's the day of the wedding, and you're like, oh my goodness, I can't go, it's so far of a drive, it's going to take too much time, I have a midterm tomorrow, I have an exam tomorrow, I'm not going to go to the wedding. And the question is, of course, what do? Is there any compensation that you would need to provide the bride, the groom, the parents, right? Why? Because the idea is they ask you to reply. They ask you to reply because they need to know that there's going to be 400 people at this wedding. Tell the caterer, Mr. Caterer, please make sure there's 400 spots for the wedding. And now that you're not going, $399 would have sufficed. So the truth is the answer is a little bit complicated for a number of reasons. Number one, often what happens with the caterer is that everyone knows things happen last minute. So the caterer charges you a certain amount, let's say 400, and it doesn't matter if it's 395 or 405. Meaning it could end up being 5 more or 5 less, but we agreed on 400. If it's a couple more, I'm willing to forego those amounts. If it's a few less, but that's kind of the way it works, and that's somewhat standard in practice. Some actually put that into the contract, plus or minus a certain percentage, and others just implied, and for one or two, either way, we don't nickel and dime, because let's face it, $100 a person, 400 people, you're already talking about 40 grand. So, a couple more, a couple less, doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, it matters, but, not the end of the day, end of the world. So that's number one. Number two, when it comes to food, the caterer will always want to make sure to order a little bit more. So if the main course is, let's say, a piece of chicken, not only gets 400 pieces of chicken because 400 people ordered, but he's always ordering a little bit more. That's part of your assumption is that those things happen. Some people will want 2. This will go bad. So generally speaking, the caterer never really goes according to exactly that number. Now, some weddings, that's not the case. You will see sometimes Luigi, the guy who works for Coleman, he goes around and he checks off every single plate and every one. You do see that at the same time. But the question is, let's assume that it's that last scenario, that you're paying for every person. If it's 402, it's 402. If it's 398, it's 398. Whatever the number is, that's what you pay for the dinner. Would you be obligated to pay? Sorry, I apologize. Not because that's based on who attended. Let's say it's not based on attended. Let's just end up saying it was 400 and now only 399 showed up, so they're wasting money on you, so to speak. So the answer could be that the family doesn't necessarily care because they care about the present. I mean, their assumption is that the present will cover the cost of the food. So therefore, since the person is, as long as you give a present, you're covering the cost of the food, they don't mind as much, right? You pay your $100 gift, covers the cost of the food, it evens out at the end of the day. So yes, maybe they could have made more money, but then they would have gotten the gift. So it could have been tit for tat, in which case there would also be a way to nullify the two. That being said, if you tell a person that you're coming, they order food for you, it is probably not considered direct damages. You didn't engage in a contractual obligation. So like I said to you, do me a favor, build me a table, I need this table. Buy my house. You're the photographer at my wedding, then you don't show up. That was a contractual obligation where both parties agreed, and it was time sensitive, and that was broken. There it would require compensation of the sort. But here, there's no direct damage. At best, it's indirect. It's probably a garmy type of a thing. Nonetheless, you should apologize. You should still give a nice gift. For sure, B'nai Adam, in the judicial court, you'll not be able to be covered. Perhaps in the heavenly court, you did something inappropriate, and for that, you should definitely apologize and have a compensation, which could be done by giving an appropriate financial gift. I believe that is the proper answer for today's Wednesday WhatsApp.
So does that mean that when we usually go to a wedding, the gift has to be the price of the meal?
No, meaning I'm saying that's what they might be assuming. But we're not recording, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, shut up.